Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to episode 133 of the Take One Podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and today we got a few things to talk about. We talking about Disney Plus and the launch issues, and then we're gonna have some reviews, trailer reviews, and then we're gonna have a regular review on Harriet. So excited to get into that. So first off, let's go ahead and jump right into Disney Plus. So as you guys may know or you may not know, Disney Plus streaming service has launched today, and you can go ahead and go online. It's $6.99 for just a regular service month by month, and then you have a $69.99 for a year subscription. And then they also have another one which it wasn't on the app when I downloaded it and then paid for my subscription. That you can do a I believe it's $13.99 for Disney Plus, ESPN, and Hulu bundle. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and try to upgrade. But as of right now, Disney Plus has launched, and it is not without its issues. Not without its issues. So I've witnessed a lot of them, but they didn't hinder my experience as far as the service is concerned. I woke up this morning, thought about it, went in, basically did my whole thing, subscribed to it or whatnot, and the first movie I really put on, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing because I was getting ready for work, but the first thing that I put on was Avengers Endgame, and it went on without a hitch. But as I came home and went back on the service to kind of look and just browse and see what was on there, some titles, when you go into it, nothing would show up. It will have just like the poster or whatever for whatever it is I went into, whether it's the show or a movie or whatever, and you wouldn't have an option to watch at that moment. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And then other titles like Star Wars, I went into, and it said that like it's not, something went wrong, check back later and everything else. And now I went back to certain titles, and those titles are now, you can watch them and all that stuff. One of the titles being High School Musical, which I went in, didn't have an option to watch. Now there's an option to watch. So they just showed me that they got some bugs in there. Star Wars is the same. And some titles I still kind of like that. And I went through the, app or whatnot, and it basically still has like certain stuff isn't popping up. When you're going through, how like Netflix has certain like genres that you can go through, whether it's like TV shows, original Netflix thing that you can browse through all of them. Some of the titles aren't popping up, and that when you go into it, it won't allow you to go into it. I'm actually doing it right now. So there is still some bugs, and I'm not the only person. I had minor like technical difficulties, but other people on Twitter have came out and basically said that they've had issues with the launch and everything else, that some people, like, as soon as they paid for it or whatnot and logged in, they were basically not able to do anything, and it was like a crap ton of reports on Twitter, people saying this, saying that. And with that, I mean, I'm speaking from outside. More than likely, if this happened to me, I'll probably be pissed off too. It's a new streaming service. You're excited about it. You got a lot of titles on there that Netflix or any other service don't have. So you're trying to see that, especially like the newer shows like Mandalorian on there. Or, if you're a High School Musical fan, you probably might be excited to watch the series that they have on there. But at the same time, I do realize that with a huge launch like this, I mean, HBO Max got their own streaming service, and other like places are about to start putting out like big streaming services as well, to kind of like go alongside of the other streaming services. But Disney, above all, was the number one thing that was in like on social media and news, on people's minds and everything else. That was the most exciting. And so when you have stuff like that, you got a lot of people trying to get it as soon as it launches. As soon as 12 o'clock hit, go on there, and all this stuff. Certain people already paid for it, so as soon as it became available, bam, everything is on there. And with that, you're gonna have a lot of crashing. You're gonna have a lot of things that's going wrong. You're gonna have a lot of bugs. This is a launch. I'm not entirely sure. Don't you correct me on this or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that other streaming services had kind of a maybe a technical difficult start or whatever. Probably not as major as that, but maybe certain things that they needed to get right and fix. I mean, even consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, and all of them, they all have bugs upon launch. Any of those systems are perfect. That's why you get new versions of, a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Plus, PlayStation 4 Pro, or, just stuff like that every so often, because they're constantly fixing bugs, adding new additions. I mean, it's upgrading what they originally had, but at the same time, you're fixing the bugs from the previous version. So this is no different. This is the same thing. I mean, there are going to be bugs. There's going to be technical stuff. But when you actually get on the app, there is a lot to explore. There is a crazy amount to explore. I don't know if you hear that in the background, but I'm literally going through this. Some of the titles had me smiling. I seen they have the Santa Claus, which is my favorite Christmas movie. They have a Goofy movie, which I love that movie, and they just have like all these Disney Channel original movies and shows on here as well. Marvel properties, Star Wars, old Disney films, the cartoon version, Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. They got the newer ones, Moana, Frozen. They got the whole thing of The Simpsons on there, all 152,000 seasons they got of them. But yeah, as I was talking about, like, I went into the Simpsons thing right now, and now it's saying the requested media is not available. Please try again. If you continue to have these problems, or if you continue to have problems, please contact Disney Plus subscription support, error code 41. So it's gonna run into a lot of these. So more than likely, a lot of these aren't going to be available to you right now, but give it some time. Give it like to the end of the week. Give it like another week. But for the most part, you're able to go on here and you're able to watch a lot of these titles. Certain titles aren't there yet. Toy Story 4, blah, blah, blah. The newer titles, the new Lion King that came out this year, the remake or whatnot, isn't on here. But, of course, you do have Avengers Endgame. But, yeah, like I said, I mean, you're going to have a lot of problems. That is to be expected when it comes to stuff like this. More than likely going to get better. They're more than likely working hard as hell to try to get everything just working properly, keep everybody satisfied that on their service, because they want people that if maybe you were thinking about leaving Netflix, this is a reason why to leave Netflix, or this is a reason why to leave Amazon, or just whatever. So that's really all I gotta say about that. I mean, it's gonna get fixed. It's gonna get fixed. And so, with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into reviewing some trailers. So, today, it's technically the second trailer, but I still view it as kind of like a first trailer because of a significant change. So, I guess however you look at it, first, second trailer, or revamped first trailer of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, if you guys remember that Sonic the Hedgehog was, I believe, supposed to come out this year. But earlier this year, actually, I think right about now, it's supposed to have came out within this month or last month. I believe it was this month. But it was supposed to come out, and when we got the first trailer, it was a whole uproar. And it wasn't a good uproar. It was not. Due to the fact that Sonic looked more kind of like a human had sex with, a Sonic the Hedgehog type creature, and bam, it looked weird. They tried to make Sonic more humanized, and that was not the way to go. Surely. And so they took note of that. This is one of the few, if ever, studios that have came out that's involved in a movie, then they heard criticisms from the people and everything else, and changed something so drastically. Now, more than likely, you probably pull out a whole bunch of examples of studios that have came out and literally did that publicly. But it's kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing. It shows that they are trying to put out a good product that is satisfying to us, the consumer, and fans of, the character and everything else. But at the same time, it shows a bit of weakness. But at the same time, I think it was a nice medium, because It's like they really did need to do something, or else literally your money is affected, because a lot of people, they're gonna be looking at it like, that is not Sonic. I'm not gonna go see this. Big fans of Sonic, they're like, this is no, that I don't know what that is. That is not Sonic. So they're not gonna take their money out and go see this. Now with the new revamped Sonic and him actually looking like Sonic, it's more than likely going to get those people that were rejecting it at first, saying, I'm not going to go see that they bastardized Sonic. I'm not going to support this. Now they're probably on board about this time. Now, I said that before, I feel like they should have gone the route of making it a completely animated film, because I don't know, this movie might be good. This movie may be good, but I think that they should have just went with a whole animated film where you have all the different animated like Sonic characters, and you could have did an adventure like that instead of having like a mixture between, a hybrid of live action and animation. I feel like all animation would have worked. But at the same time, the trailer actually looked pretty good. The only thing that really threw me off about this trailer was Sonic's voice. I don't know. I just can't get it. I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like, I love the Sonic old TV show where Steve Urkel did the voice and I can only hear that. No, I'm not that type of person. But I don't know. It just stood out to me. Like, it was just something that stood out to me. And it wasn't like a positive. It was just a negative. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get used to it. But as I'm watching the trailer, I don't know, the voice just stood out to me. It just didn't seem right. I don't know. But overall, the trailer got a few chuckles out of me. You see a lot more. They had a lot more going up in this trailer than they did the other trailer. And it shows, like, it may end up being a really good film. Jim Carrey was actually, he was funny in the other trailer, but I think I like how they had him in this trailer because it was so much better. I got a few chuckles out of him when he basically was trying to when he went at James Marsden, it's like, give me the anomaly and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then Sonic came out and he screamed. Like, that got a real big chuckle out of me. Like I said, chuckle. I didn't laugh, but it did get, a reaction out of me. But I really overall really did like the whole thing of this trailer. I'm glad that they went back and they fixed Sonic. Really did appreciate that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people appreciate it. Now he actually looks like Sonic. Now it looks like something that may end up being good. Don't know. It may be horrible. But I know I'm definitely going to go take my son. It's not something that I'm rushing out to go see. But I'm most definitely going to take my son and check it out. Hopefully I may end up liking it. Hell, it's a lot of movies I went out and really didn't have too much, expectations for it, and I end up really liking it, but in any case, let's go on to the next trailer. So the next trailer is Scoob, which is a new adaptation of Scooby Doo. And this kind of, I believe it plays more kind of like an origins kind of story of Scooby-Doo and how him and Shaggy met, mixed with the thing. I don't know. From the trailer, I kind of got that it may end up being like a back and forth. Like, they're on a mystery, and then every so often it goes back in time to when they first met, and then it goes back to reality past, basically a past present type thing. But I couldn't help but to smile the whole time when I watch it. And it's not like nostalgic, because even though Scooby-Doo may end up being nostalgic, but only in the older episodes I used to watch when I was a kid, Scooby-Doo has constantly been revamped. So it's nothing, I can't say that it's truly nostalgic, but that's not the reason why I was smiling. As I've said plenty of times, I just recently said with the Sonic trailer, that movies like this, I think about my son. And I really love him. I really do. I think about him a lot. And when it comes to these trailers, I'm like, I gotta show him this. I don't live that close to him, so I can't just drive, whatever. But when I get him, I need to show him this trailer. Because I know what he's going to say. We're going to go see that. He tells me, we're going to go see that. And I just couldn't help but to smile, because this looks like a movie that he would absolutely love. And it looks like it's going to be good. Don't get me wrong. It looks like it's going to be good from my perspective. But he more than likely is going to like it. More than likely, kids are going to love this film. The trailer looked really good. You get a young Shaggy, you get a young Scooby, and you get the where his name came from, why he's called Scooby Doo. It's just something that Shaggy was coming up on the fly, and it makes sense. And it absolutely makes sense. I'm not basically well versed on maybe if they have like online backstories or the official backstory of all the characters in Scooby Doo, which that would be amazing that they went into that much thought. But it makes sense. You have Scooby Doo in his show eating something called Scooby Snacks. Guaranteed that there isn't a company of like, oh my gosh, you helped. Well, I mean that maybe that would make sense, you know. It was a mystery that ended up being solved by the gang, by Scooby and all that stuff, and so it was maybe a dog factory that was like, oh, well, dog factory owner was like, oh my gosh, you helped me. I'm gonna name a new snack after you, and then call it Scooby Snacks, and so he gets unlimited supply and blah blah blah. But it makes sense also this way where he would like the dog catcher was asking Shaggy what's Scooby's name, and he looked at the thing called Scooby Snacks. And he said Scooby, and he was like, last name Doobie Doo. And you know, just it's basically playing on the thing of he went on the spot, got a name from wherever, and then on top of that, as a kid, he was just thinking of some like weird kid type stuff. So I like that. And the rest of it looks really good. We didn't really get a sense of what the movie is clearly about, or you know, whatever, but it looks like it's gonna be good. It really does. I don't know if it is, but I mean, it was a lot to get from it. I'm definitely gonna take my son. Definitely gonna have to show him this trailer because I'm pretty sure he gonna want to go see that. And so that ends up the discussion about Scoob, the trailer. Let's go ahead and jump into movie reviews, which I'm only going to be reviewing one movie on this podcast, and then we're going to end it off. And so the one movie, like I said, I'm going to be reviewing is the movie Harriet. So I went to go see that last week. Didn't really have too many expectations of it. You know, from the trailer, it didn't have too much promotion. But it just seemed like one of those like really low budget type films that, you know, they put out and it don't make that much money and it's not really that good, and it's just like, you know, just kind of like a throwaway, something that probably should have been just on, you know, a streaming platform or just straight to Blu-ray and all that stuff. And it, you know, it should have just been that. I was pleasantly surprised. Now, this is kind of like me going to the show. I was supposed to go see Terminator Dark Fate that day, but plans changed, so I ended up seeing this. And this movie completely caught me off guard. I love this film. I loved it. I didn't think too much about it, like I said. And I was literally invested from the beginning of the film all the way to the last second of the film. I truly love this film. It was really good. The actress that played Harriet, Cynthia Erivo, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She did an amazing job. She is a really good actress. I want to see her in more stuff. I really do. I liked her in Widows, and I liked her in Bad Times at the El Royale. She killed it in that movie. She really did. But yeah, she did an amazing job playing Harriet. I really did like it. And not even just her, like everybody, all the supporting people, all the supporting actors up in there did great as hell. You got Joe Alwyn, which plays the antagonist, and then you have Janelle Monáe and Leslie Odom Jr. And just not even just them, but everybody else. Like I really enjoyed all the performances up in there. They did extremely well, and it was like it was beautifully shot. Like they had a lot of good, they had a lot of good shots up in there that was really good. I love just how the tone of it was. I know one of the criticisms that a lot of people have against this movie is that it doesn't get into the grittiness of slavery. It doesn't go hard in showing like, you know, just what really was going down around that time. And just to, yeah. But at the same time, you don't need to have a lot of that. More than likely, stuff like this was like, movies like this, they don't really have too much, R-rated type stuff up in there. It's just for, to have a family. Like, they have a certain goal in mind that they want to do. You don't want to go into a movie, Harriet, coming out just, you'll feel inspired, but at the same time, you will feel kind of like thrown off because of this movie, just the imagery and stuff that you've seen and heard and blah, blah, blah. It's like you want to get a good feeling leaving this movie. And now, slavery wasn't pretty. It wasn't a good feeling. And I get that. But at the same time, I also get that, you want to, how can I say it? You want to not upset a lot of people in watching this. And so it is very toned down. Very, very toned down. But at the same time, me personally, I didn't have a problem with it. I really didn't. And if you had a problem with it, then this movie isn't the movie for you. Then go watch another movie or whatever. But it was really good. And it shows how kind of a badass Harriet Tubman was, and just how she did, and just the amazing journey that she went through, and basically doing what she was doing, freeing slaves, going from point A to point B, and everything in between, So, and I love that whole aspect of that. And it really does feel like an epic. It really does feel like an epic. A movie that just is big without being truly big. But I really did like that about it. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with it being like very toned down in PG-13. I know a lot of people like wish that it could have been rated R and everything else. But despite that, I really did like it. I really did. And at the end of the day, that's what's really important. If you're going to go see a movie, you don't want to spend your hard-earned money watching a movie that you don't really enjoy. And then just on the side of that, if you have like me, AMC Stubbs A-List, you don't want to spend your time, watching a movie that isn't that good. And for me, personally, I really did like it. And everybody I talked to said it was really good. This person said it was really good and everything else. And I agree. I tend to agree. And I enjoy everything about it. And like I said, it's really, really toned down, but I don't care. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9 rating. I didn't really find a crazy amount, anything wrong with it. I'm not one of those people that's like, this didn't happen. They didn't do this. They didn't portray that right. They didn't do this and all that stuff. As a movie, I enjoyed it. I love its significance and everything else and everything that they were trying to do with this movie. And I don't care. I really did like it. I really did like it. And so with that said, that ends that review and that ends the podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for listening to the Take One podcast. I'm going to, be working hard to try and push out a lot of content. If you haven't yet, check out my other podcast, Box Office Talk, where on that show I talk about everything involving the box office and everything else. And I'm going to be doing one this week, and I'm going to be reviewing some movies on there that is relating to the box office. Dr. Sleep and Playing with Fire. Go ahead and subscribe and turn your notifications. That way you will know when that drop. I don't have specific days on when these podcast drop, but I'm working hard to try to have a specific day. That way you'll know that this day this podcast drop, that day that podcast drop. As well as I'm going to be putting out a new podcast alongside Box Office Talk, which is, for right now, it's called the Review Podcast. And that's just simply what it is. I'm doing reviews on there. It's not all type of reviews, but I'm mainly sticking to trailers, movies, and TV shows, TV series, or whatever. So that's what's going to be on that podcast. I have 2 of them I want to drop, 2 episodes I want to drop of the review podcast. I may end up dropping 3, but you won't know until you subscribe and turn your notifications, because those will be dropping this week, probably within the next couple days. So look out for that, and thank you for listening again. And I will catch you guys on the next episode of the Take One Podcast. You guys take care, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.